interview Major John Desplancke, and he's in charge of the San Jose Salvation Army. And
Kind of nervous. I think once we meet him and everything will go fine.
I look forward to knowing what led to him to find this path and how this whole organization works.
Our purpose is to just see why he chose this path in life.
Our mission is to know some facts.
Suzanne?
Yeah.
And I'm Andrea Cuevas.
Andrea? Very nice to meet you.
We want to know why you choose to work in a nonprofit organization.
And how much time do we have to answer? Is that the main question, and then I can
Yeah.
spend?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, it goes deeper than just a nonprofit. The Salvation Army is a religious organization. Most people don't realize that. Most people see the Salvation Army as a social services program where we feed the hungry, clothing, do assistance in many ways. I am the administrator of this facility because of my belief, my love of God, and my desire to help people in need. So that's if I had to put it in a nutshell, that's my main reason why. I want to tell my story a little bit. I grew up in the Salvation Army, and Salvation Army is a church. Many people don't realize that. They see it just as an organization, but the Salvation Army is in 126 nations. Our headquarters, our international headquarters, is in England. And over there, the Salvation Army is known as a church that does social services. In the United States, we kind of have it backwards. Salvation Army is known as a social service organization that does a little church. So my mom got invited to go to the Salvation Army in Southern California, and she's been going to the Salvation Army church all of her life. And so my brother and I grew up going to the Salvation Army as our church. That's where we go every Sunday, and we worship God there. I have been an officer for 16 years. There's nothing better than waking up in the morning and knowing that you're making a difference in what you do. It's not just a task that I'm doing, but we're really affecting the lives here.
So since you speak about your rank, how did it, for you, how was it for you to get to the rank you were?
Sure.
And your path up?
Yeah, it's similar to the military. The Salvation Army is not affiliated with the military in any way. So we're not part of the U.S. government. We're not another branch of the military. We're just the Salvation Army. But we have we promote in a similar way to the military. So in the military, you go into basic training, and then you might be a sergeant for a time, then you get promoted to lieutenant, and then maybe captain. We have the same way. So we have a training college that both my wife and I went to, and we graduated that in 1999, and we had the rank of lieutenant for 5 years. So it looked a little bit different on the shoulders. We were a lot younger, and we were sent in different appointments that the Army chooses for us. So our first appointment was in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I had to look on the map where Cheyenne was. I never knew. I grew up in Los Angeles. Spent a year in Cheyenne, and then spent 4 years in Denver, Colorado. And it was there that we were promoted to the rank of captain after 5 years. And then you're a captain for another 10 years until just this last June, last year, we were promoted to major. So it means that we've served as an officer for 15 years. I think I'll probably retire a major. Most people retire with that rank, and so I'm probably not going to be a bigwig, a president of a company or anything like that. But if some people get the rank of a lieutenant colonel, and then there's a full colonel, and then there's a commissioner who's in charge of a big area, the western United States. And then we have one international general that's in charge of all the Salvation Army globally. And we only have one general at a time. And then he retires and somebody else replaces him.
So what do you do here every day?
Most of the time I'm in here. I oversee the operation of 5 stores, our thrift stores. We call them our family stores. I oversee the operations in our warehouse, and I oversee the operations in our residence, and that includes the counseling, the program.
So did you go to college?
I did. I went to community college for 2 years. I wanted to be a draftsman, which with computers the way they are now, it's an industry that really is being replaced by the computers. It's so easy for the computer to write out the big drawings like for architects. But that was back in the late 80s. So I went to community college for 2 years. I didn't graduate, unfortunately. I got married, and then we had a child shortly after that. So my education had to be put on hold. But after in joining the Salvation Army, the college that we go to, it's the Salvation Army College for Officer Training, is accredited with an AA degree. So one of my certificates there is of my Associates of Arts degree in ministry. My desire is to get my bachelor's degree, but it's hard to balance going back to school and the work that we have.
Working here?
I love working here. I'm 48 years old, and the job is very demanding. There are days it's very discouraging. We deal with men that are addicted to drugs and alcohol, and they have come to us for help. Our program that we have here is a 6-month residential treatment program. So the men stay on the 2nd floor is all their beds, they're like dormitories, and on the ground floor, the building next to us, we have a kitchen, and we have a chapel, we have an area that they can go outside. So it's an opportunity for them to get clean and sober. And in the evening times, we have classes that they go to where they talk about anger management and ways to avoid using alcohol and drugs. We do counseling as well for them to help them. Oftentimes drugs and alcohol are just a result of other challenges in their life that they've not been able to get past. Oftentimes dealing with their mom or their dad.
So you said that like waking up in the morning and knowing that you're gonna like make a change was like part of why you like your job. But what do you think is like the thing that makes you like keep going? Like
I've never gone through addiction myself, but many of the staff, in fact the gentleman that you spoke to, William Kramer is his name, he's a man who's come through this program. He's a man that spent many years in prison, and he's changed his life around. It's knowing that they look to me as almost a father figure, somebody that they respect, somebody that they admire, and I don't want to let them down. It gives me a great pride, but there's also a lot of responsibility with it, that if I have a bad day and I get upset at one of them, they could leave this program and just say, you know, the Salvation Army's bad, or that leader, he's bad. He spoke to me really poorly, and I never want to do that. I really respect these men. It takes a very brave man to make changes in their life that are very difficult, very deep, emotionally. It's hard to make changes like that. I want to lose weight, and to lose weight, I have to go to the gym. I have to control what I eat. I have to, a lot of things that it's so easy when you're younger, but as you get older, it's harder and harder to control what you eat and exercise when your body aches and your arm doesn't feel well or something. That's what keeps me going.
So sorry, but kind of going back, like how did you come to this company, or was it just like knowing that your wife was going into it too?
That's a hard one to answer. It's easy to answer, but it's a long answer. I'll try to keep it short. In the Salvation Army, we feel called by God to do what we do. So it's not just it's not a vocation. It's not something I went to college so I could be here. It's what I do. I guess it's what I feel like God is calling me to do. So in the Salvation Army, both the husband and the wife need to feel that specifically for them. So if I felt called to be an officer in the Salvation Army, but my wife did not, then it wouldn't be right for us to be here. And so my wife, a few years before I decided, she came to me and said, "John, I feel called to be an officer. I think we should go to the training college." And I said, "No." I said, "You're wrong. I was working in the construction field. I enjoyed that very much. I worked with my hands, and I didn't want to leave. And so I told my wife, I don't feel that way." And really, it took some tough times for me.
So did you have any other jobs before coming to the Salvation Army?
My father is a ceramic tile setter, like for kitchens and bathrooms. And it was a family-owned business that was handed down from his father to him. And I worked there for 8 years. I enjoyed it. It's hard work, hard on the knees. A lot of times you're on the knees working on the floor. But I enjoyed it very much, and would be happy if I did that for my life. But this is more satisfying. This pays a lot better. Salvation Army pays my costs, but I'm never going to get rich, and that's okay with me. I did not do this to get rich.
So this job is more like a spiritual, because it makes you feel better about yourself and how it's like God
Very much
led
so.
you this way.
Salvation Army provides everything for me. They provide my transportation, the car. They provide the house. They provide me. The only thing I buy are the food and my clothes. So the Army makes it very easy. The Salvation Army makes it very easy for me to focus on the ministry and not have to worry about all my bills. I got to go get another job. I'm not allowed to go get another job. This is my job, and if I've got extra time, probably something's wrong. It takes a lot of time.
Do you feel like it has changed you working here over the years and like having with people every day, doing your job?
Yes. I have more gray hair. I've learned to be more patient. I've learned to think before I speak.
So like, for this job for you was a spiritual calling. And then like, so now we're high schoolers and we're not really sure what we want to be when we grow up.
Yes.
So like, of course we're going to go to college, but like, do you have any advice on that?
It sounds like a grandfather thing to say. Do what you enjoy. If you enjoy working with people, then work with people. I think if you follow the money and don't follow your heart where you enjoy working, you're going to be frustrated. You may be rich, but you're going to be frustrated.
Okay, so after our interview, I felt pretty good. He was a really nice person to talk to. I learned a few things. I guess just do what you like, just go for it. And yeah.
So I really enjoyed interviewing Major John. It was a really nice experience. And once we got in there and actually started asking questions, it was very nice and flowy, and it was very nice interview.
So before coming here, I didn't really know what the Salvation Army was. I did some research, but nothing compared to him speaking one-on-one about what it's like to work here and how the whole system of moving up works. And I really liked how he said that to find your own path, like you just have to do like whatever you like the most, because if you go just for the money, maybe you'll be really miserable and not like your life. Yeah.